Hey, welcome to the Xbox Gaming channel. My name is Leon and today I'm gonna play the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. So I never played the Stanley Parable on PC because I don't have a nice laptop, PC or something. I don't game on a laptop. And I never played this, but I heard this is a very good game. So I was really excited to do this game, and I want to thank the developer for providing us a review copy. Please choose a screen and subtitle language. Well, English, because Dutch isn't there. No, I have not. Confirm. Please enter the current time. Okay. Oh wait, it's AM and PM. So it is PM post midnight. Yeah, sorry guys, I have to think because we are not used to this kind of clocks, this kind of time. 42 it is. Confirm. Okay. I don't know why I need to put in a time, but oh, okay. Begin game. Never the end is. The end is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard.
Yeah, that's also my kind of job.
Through a monitor at the desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-ending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Yeah, I'm not at my job. Well, that's not completely true. I like my job, but happy.
That would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation.
Well, maybe Sunday.
Was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, yeah, that's me. I need to walk 4 to 7. Ooh. What time it is? Okay. So, can I do something or not?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Hey,
Stanley
door's
decided
closed.
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
But where is the meeting room? Yeah.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Or should I go to the right? What do you guys think? Let's be a rebel.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Hey, this PC is on. It's working. Oh, I'm in the lounge.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Oh, but I can't get a cold drink.
Really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Okay, well, let's go.
Eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
What a choice, what a choice. What to do?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Yeah, that's true. He's a real rebel. Okay, so I guess I'm at the warehouse now. No, nothing to do.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Ooh, who's her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Okay. The door closes. Ooh.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Yeah, but how to pick it up? Ah, there it is. So, or not. I don't know. What a confusing game.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Well, I got a loving wife.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Ooh. Okay.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Okay. I have to stay in this room.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
No.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
But it was saying press Y to watch TV, but there's no TV. Press B.
So
Okay.
he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls, and down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions, and down another was a game with a baby, and he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Okay, so we're gonna do this again?
But there
I
is
guess.
no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
To go to sleep. Okay.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time you'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Please die.
Again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Am I dead? Why is there a loading screen? Okay, well, let's go again, I guess.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay, guys, this time, guys and girls, this time I'm gonna do anything the voice says to me. So I will go to the meeting room. I will go, yeah, whatever he say. Let's see how change things here.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's go. There's another room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Ooh, move my desk. Yeah, if they do that to my desk, I will flip it. I will freak out. Everyone is unique. Well, that's true. The broom closet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, we go upstairs. This guy has his own toilet. That's why he's the boss.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Oh guys, 2, 8, 4, 5.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Well, that's the only way to go, so let's go. It's dark here. Real dark. I guess let's go downstairs. And we're loading again.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oh. Don't know what that was.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ooh, escape. I think I should do that, but I said I will comply to everything you say, so let's go. In normal life, I would escape. Push the
The lights
button.
rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Okay. There's another platform. Okay, let's push the camera.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
427. That's mine. Oh, now I don't know which one. Well, okay. Keep moving on. So there's a rope, a box, and something else.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Yeah, unthinkable, but I think it is.
His entire life utterly blind to the world?
Ooh.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay. So now he's also a rebel. Yeah, nothing. Oh wait, here's something. Can I push this? Yeah, I can push this, but what happens? There's also something. Well, let's just go ahead.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
So, on, off. Well, we said we're gonna stop it, so power off.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Nah, don't think so. It isn't over.
Yes. He had won.
Ooh.
He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries
I
did
can
this
walk.
strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
Yeah,
Perhaps
guys,
his
and
goal
that's the
had not been to
true
understand, but to let go.
true goal
No
to be in
longer
life.
would anyone
Happy.
tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Okay, he's happy. But are we now going back to room 427? Hey, that's my first achievement. Beat the game? Okay. That's in 24 minutes, guys. We beat the game. Okay, but now we're back. So what now?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Yeah, I don't think something is changed. All is the same. Maybe, I think. I hate Mondays. Yeah, me too. I also hate Mondays.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, what to do? The first time I did right. Second time I did left. Maybe I go left. And then the next choice, I'll do things different.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase,
we're now
Stanley
going
walked
down.
upstairs to his boss's office.
Let's see what happens.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Yeah, maybe a little
All my
bit.
co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that
That's
matter,
true.
these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real.
Yeah, why is there a B and not a 3?
He came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps
Yeah,
the
that's the
strangest
question.
of them all entered Stanley's head.
Why is there a
He
car?
was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke
Okay,
to
that
all
go
people
really
in their
deep.
dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite
Was this
a
also
shock to
before?
Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that?
Yeah, it is.
This
There it
voice
is.
was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt
Okay.
the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
What a weird game, guys.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh,
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
oh, okay.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect...
So is she a co-worker of Stanley or not?
Life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay. And there I am again. So, did I complete it or something? Because with the last one I got an achievement, and now I'm getting nothing.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Guys, I think this is a really intriguing game.
He entered the door on his left.
Yeah, I'll go to the left. And I will go upstairs to the boss. And there I'm gonna do a different choice.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
There we are. Okay, let's go again.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
That's nice.
Anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
This is funny.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley
Oh.
calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Yeah, there we go again. Through the elevator. Let's go down.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
We're going to escape, guys.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
That's not a good thing.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Yeah, we're not going to
At this
do
point,
it.
Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yeah, I am. Let's go. How do I die? Oh, you don't see that. Okay. Oh, maybe you are.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna be pressed together or something?
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated, as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
So I'm not dead. No, I'm not.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
I don't really know what he's going to accomplish.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Okay, so this is crazy. Office layout. The blueprint shows that the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors are the first path of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout the development, though the core layout remained identical to the first iteration. Stanley's computer. I can't do anything with it. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. The corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. Okay. So we get some extra information about the game. Nice. The set of the open doors was the first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, and exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Flying cabinets. Okay, you can do nothing with it. Let's see on the other side what's standing. The office. But the sounds, a selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Oh nice, you can see how what the people are working with. Yeah, but you have a left and a right, guys, so let's see. The office. Copy machine. There's some posters. Now go to the right. Let's see what there is. Okay. Oh, nice. Office clock. What's here? Here's another something. The lounge.
A surprise party for him for all his button pushing. Does that sound plausible to you? Stanley stood on the snow. Now look closely, Stanley. See how it's impossible for the player to do anything in this room. When Stanley perfect example of poor level design, textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you'd pick up on intuitively if you had even the
Nice.
most fundamental understanding of good and bad game design.
Okay guys, so I guess there's a lot to explore more. But that's all I'm going to do on my own. So, if you like this game, at least if you like what you saw, maybe consider buying it. It's real nice. A lot of choices. I say thank you for watching. If you like our videos of Xbox gaming, please subscribe, hit the like, and if you're really fan, then turn on the notifications. Okay, thank you very much, and bye bye.